So the question I get a lot is, why is it important to have, to plan this out in advance? I think we're all taught that, networking is networking, and what's important is who you have, or what's important is how many people that you have in your network. But the way I kind of counter that is, many of us have a business plan. And if you're an entrepreneur, chances are at some point you've done a business plan. And many of us, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, you have a budget, or what I call a financial plan. Right. But what we don't spend the time doing is creating a relationship plan. Right. So goals are only attainable through people. That's the thing that I think many of us misunderstand, is that, we think we can get here, but get anywhere by ourselves. But the reality is, even though true, you have to do most of the work, there are still other people that are involved in your success. And whether that's, employees, colleagues, whether that's your accountant, your lawyer, people that you pay to help you, or people that just advise you for free. And that could be your mentors, your sponsors, the people that you have around you that can advise you or can open doors for you, that can, make sure you have a seat at the table when it comes to things that you want. There are people who will refer the right type of clients to you. And so, what I advise my clients, and I'm advising you in this video, is to plan this out. Decide in advance what type of people that you need to have in your life in order to accomplish your goals. And so the way to do that, and I'm going to walk you through very quickly on creating a relationship plan, is to list out your goals as you normally do. And maybe give a date to them, because a goal without a date is just a dream, right? So write down your goal. What do you want to accomplish in the next year? And then next to it, write down the date that you plan to accomplish that goal. But then create a column that, this is where most of us don't follow up or don't do, is write down the names of the people who, if they were in your life and you had a good relationship with them, would make accomplishing that goal much more likely. If you want to be a media mogul, would it be great if you knew Wendy Williams, or you were friends with Tamron Hall, or even Oprah Winfrey, right? Who in your life would make it easier or more likely for you to hit those goals? Again, we look at our goals as something we accomplish, but the reality is all of your goals and everything you have in your life comes through people. But I'm going to take a step back, right? So even before you look at the goals and the people, first let's look at the categories of the people that you need to have in your life. And again, using the example of, if you want to be a media mogul, what type of people would be good to have in your circle? Right. Again, other people who have already done this, other media moguls would be great. You probably also need a good attorney with experience in IP, and you're going to need to know some people in the TV industry. Do you know any television executives? And so quite often we have these goals or visions or dreams of where we want to be in our life, but the people who we have in our life either can't or won't help you. And again, it doesn't mean that they're bad people. It simply means that they don't have the experience or the resources or the access to really help you. And so part of this exercise of building your network is filling it with people who can help you, right? And it could also be, maybe you're selling a product, maybe you're a real estate agent. What type of people do you like to sell to? And how many of them are your friends? First of all, anybody you've ever sold to should be, in your network, because chances are the people who you sell to are going to be your biggest advocate, particularly if they had a good experience, right? They're going to tell people to use you. Most people, before they start that search, they ask somebody, particularly if they're new in town or don't know a lot of folks, who is your agent? And so, making sure that you keep a good relationship with these folks, make sure you stay in touch with them, follow them, because also, according to the National Association of Realtors, most people move every 10 years, right? So you want to make sure you keep that. And this is a long game. And so even as we talk about building these relationships, understand that this is for the long haul. There is no microwave way to do this, right? But if you want to be successful in business, you have to have that patience and that ability to see the future and work every day toward that. So definitely keep in contact and build a good relationship with your previous customers. But as you're deciding what type of customer would you like to work with, what fills you with joy? Do you like helping new first-time owners, folks who are young, buy homes? That excites you. Maybe you like working with more established families. Maybe you like working with large families. You kind of create a niche, but then you surround yourself with people who are in that same, who would be your ideal customer, right? So it's about making relationships, and you don't need thousands of people. And that's the beauty of what I'm describing. You only need between 100 and 150 people to make this technique effective. However, all of those 100, 150 people will be your close friends. One of the challenges we have as networkers is that we spend 90% talking to the same 5 or 6 people. Right? Most of us do that. We just every day we talk to the same 5 people, mom and them, best friend, significant other, what have you. We talk to them pretty much every day, 4 or 5 times a week, as opposed to spending time on the phone, building relationships with folks who could be our ideal customer. And that's the biggest thing you have to understand about sales or even entrepreneurship, is that it's not transactional, it's relational. And so you're not building just transactional capital. You need to build relational capital, where you're building relationships over time with a large number of people. So, but again, this is what we're talking about in this video is, figuring out what types of people you need to have in your network. So we get the categories, and then we drill down to the next level, which is the personas, right? So really figuring out, and many of you, if you've done any marketing, or even if you're in software engineering, you understand the concept of personas or an avatar. And we tend to think of that only with marketing, but as an entrepreneur, you're your own marketing department. So create your avatar of your ideal customer or customers. You can't be everything for everybody. And you've probably heard that if you try to be everything for everybody, you'll end up being nothing for nobody, right? So figure out who you want your customer to be in by the categories, but then inside of those categories, you're going to drill down, what does my ideal customer do? How big is their family? What do they do for recreation? What are they interested in? What's their fear? What's their pain point of dealing in this type of dealing with someone like me? Have they tried this before and it didn't work? Have they had a good experience before or a bad experience? And if so, why? So as you're writing these things down in your avatar, it will help you understand the type of person that you want to reach out to and become close to. You're actually kind of creating a persona of a friend in advance. There was an old movie in the 80s called Weird Science, where a couple of teenagers actually created the perfect woman. And unfortunately, that doesn't work in real life. But this comes really close if you just make a decision on what type of people you want to have in your life and write it down. We think of our friends quite often as folks we met accidentally. And if you think of most of your current friends, they're probably people that you just either live next to, just met at an event, or, just somehow just met randomly and you've been friends ever since. What I describe is actually having a plan for the type of friends that you want to have. And I ask, you want to have friends that there's something called drag, there's something called draft. in science. So drag is if you ever seen the aerodynamics. As air goes past a car or past an airplane or past anything that's moving quickly, the air slows it down. But if you're close enough to somebody in front of you moving fast, and you may have done this in a car before, you get behind a truck and you get something called draft, where their air is sucking you along with them. So if you have the type of friends that provide draft, their forward progression is going to pull you along with them. But if you have friends that are providing drag, their slowness or their inability to make it happen are actually going to slow you down. So you want to make sure that you have friends that are providing draft, and also friends who can either buy from you or refer someone to you because of the circles that they're in that can help you. So I'm hoping that was able to help you. If you like this video, you're really gonna like the next one. So please keep going. It's a whole lot of information on this channel. I'm gonna be sharing every week, but I want to make sure that you get everything I got. So again, stay tuned, and I'll talk to you soon.